All right, and welcome back to the light right here on the mighty 91.7 WLFR Pomona. We are powered by AtlanticCityFocus.com, where we have a regular segment called Civic Engagement, where we bring candidates and concerned citizens to you. Today we have one of our candidates. We have the Honorable Pat Bailey, who is running for reelection on City Council. Ms. Bailey, I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your platform, please.
Okay, good morning all, and thanks again, Raymond, for this opportunity. Again, you said it already, my name is Pat Bailey. I'm presently serving on council and running for re-election. Prior to coming to council, I served 13 years on the Atlantic City School Board, 5 of which I was president, 3 of which I was vice president. And during that term, we did well with keeping the budget flat. We built a couple of new schools. And so that knowledge follows me as I re-enter into the Atlantic City Council. So prior to that, I was 5 years on Atlantic City Municipal Utilities Authority, which we call the water company. During that time, we fought against privatization of the water company, and along with the strong presence of Atlantic City, the water company was able to overcome that barrier. At that time, I sat on the board for the MUA. Prior to that, I sat on the board for the Atlantic City Free Public Library under the mayor of that time, which was Mayor Whalen, who had appointed me. I hold a couple of degrees. I hold a bachelor's degree as well as a master's degree in administration from Fairleigh Dickinson University. And I retired almost 10 years ago from the South Jersey Transportation Authority, which used to be called the Atlantic City Expressway, where I held a managerial position over human resources. They were so intimately involved in my educational process, in which I gained the knowledge that I did and the degrees that I did. Enjoyed my work there, again, almost 30 years. I am retired now, and I'm serving my community in whatever capacity the community needs me, and enjoying every bit of it in these retirement years. So just a little bit about myself, Raymond.
And again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Okay, so first thing I want to do, and next thing I want to do is ask you this, because we have some other listeners who are also radio station DJs. We're not the brightest people in the world. So I'm going to ask you, in terms that a radio station disc jockey can understand, could you explain to me what a person on the Atlantic City City Council does exactly?
Okay, so I'll explain that to you. We are pretty much support the mayor's budget. That's what the person on Atlantic City Council does. And that budget, we watch and make sure that it is to the best interest of the residents of Atlantic City, whether it be senior programs, whether it be programs for our youth, whether it be housing programs, any program that's a part of the agenda for the city of Atlantic City, the council either supports or not. And so that's what we do. We get packages every month from every department in City Hall. And we read those packages, and we ask questions about those resolutions that are placed on those packages, making sure, again, when we vote yay or nay, that we're voting first our conscience, and second, whatever is best for the residents of Atlantic City. That's how we move legislation through the city, through City Council.
Okay. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Light, powered by AtlanticCityFocus.com. And our special guest is Pat Bailey. She is running for re-election on City Council. Are you councilwoman at large, or are you serving a particular ward at the moment?
I'm councilman at large at the moment.
Okay, and so again, I'm just asking for clarification. One of the reasons why we do this show or this segment is so that our listeners can be crystal clear about how particular government works. So, being that you're a council person at large, your responsibility or your constituents consist of the entire
City,
Atlantic City and all of the various neighborhoods.
correct. All 48 blocks, Raymond. All 48 blocks, all 6 wards. Yes. I've had the opportunity during this time to be even, well, I had already encompassed the city of Atlantic City by sitting as president of the Atlantic City School Board for years, whether it be the Pennsylvania Avenue School, Uptown Complex parents, whether it be Richmond Avenue, Chelsea Avenue. So I've had an opportunity to work for the city as a whole from my standpoint of school board, but now I get to work for the city as a whole from my standpoint of council at large.
Okay, well, thank you. All right, so yesterday I had the opportunity to interview Mayor Small, and so I'll get right to it. One thing, I kind of know the answer to this, but one thing that people ask me about in the streets or want to discuss with me on in the streets is uh, whether or not Atlantic City is safe. So, as a city council person who's responsible for all 48 blocks and all 6 wards, what would you say regarding the safety of Atlantic City overall?
Overall, I would say Atlantic City is safe, Raymond. And the reason I say that, again, first of all, I've been a resident of Atlantic City over 50 years. I've seen Atlantic City go through a lot of changes. My husband and I raised 3 kids here in Atlantic City who were fortunate enough to graduate from Atlantic City High School and go on to college. And 2 of them came back to Atlantic City to serve. So I've watched Atlantic City go through transitions. As the mayor may have said, whether he did or not, last year may have started out pretty rough for Atlantic City. There were some murders in Atlantic City, and thus far this year there have been many. I have a home here in Atlantic City in the Bungalow Park section, but that's not where I started. I started on what some people call Back Maryland many years ago. As a matter of fact, in 1979. And so I watched Maryland, Back Maryland, if you want to call it, transition to a situation that it went through some rough times. But I've also been present to watch it come out of that. And I walk Atlantic City. I can drive. But when I walk down Maryland Avenue towards Harris, I feel safe. When I walk from Bungalow Park to go up to shop at the walk, I feel safe. I'm not clutching my purse. Now, anybody doesn't walk at 2 o'clock in the morning or 11 or 12 midnight. But if I'm walking in Atlantic City, I feel safe. And also, the statistics have proven that Atlantic City is getting safer. Recently, our chief of police released some statistics on the safeness of Atlantic City and the crime being lowered in Atlantic City. I take him at his word because he's showing statistics, stats. So not only does those stats say Atlantic City is safe, but me as a personal individual walking around Atlantic City, the city that I've been in for over 50 plus years, I do feel safe. That's my answer to that question.
Okay. And I did not know that we were neighbors at one time. I actually grew up on the 700 block of Maryland Avenue. And, what people do not understand, when I grew up on Maryland Avenue in the 1970s, it was actually a very middle class neighborhood.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And you know what? I don't know how you feel, but my address, and I don't mind saying, was 834 Maryland Avenue. I was on the front side. I wasn't in the court. I was on the front side, but a lot of my friends were in the courts. So again, started raising my kids there, put them on the bus to school there. And yes, you are correct. That's who were there.
Hello?
And it did again. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Hello?
you now.
Okay. It
Uh,
migrated into a difficult situation. But Raymond, I know where you live now, but I've seen Maryland Avenue come out of that difficult situation. That's all I can say about that. Would a family member looking for an apartment and need an apartment live there? Yes, yes, because I don't hear gunfire back there anymore. I don't hear the reds and the bloods or whatever it is back there anymore. So that's my answer to that. Thank you for letting me know that we were neighbors and didn't even know each other. You're a lot younger than I am, Raymond. That's okay.
I, yeah, I don't know. Me and your kids might have gotten into it, but I don't remember fighting with any Baileys back in the day.
Okay.
it was a safe neighborhood, but yeah, we were some rough and tumble kids back in the day.
That's okay. We all grow up.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Light. We're talking to Pat Bailey, who is running for Councilwoman at Large for the city of Atlantic City. Uh, since you've been in on City Council, can you talk to us about some of the gains and positive things that have positive changes that have occurred since you've taken your office?
Okay. Several, again, won't keep talking about statistics, but I've seen the city make a turnaround to become safer. I've seen resolutions of the new projects that are going on. I've seen Pop Lord Stadium. I don't know if you have, Raymond, but the place is beautiful. The transition of Pop Lord Stadium, which was rather dilapidated more than a year ago. I've seen the aquarium make a transformation, a beautiful transformation. I love to go up into that area. And now that the aquarium has been completed, uh, I found that on the weekends or past couple of Saturdays, the parking lot's been full at Gardens Basin. People coming to see the aquarium. A lot of things. The tree planting programs that we have in the city to try to beautify the city. Even watching our cleaning department, that they got new equipment, keeping the streets clean. I've seen some positive things, a lot of positive things come about in Atlantic City during this brief tenure that I've been on the board. And I'm excited to go forward with that, to move the agenda that's going to make Atlantic City, well, I don't want to use the word great again, but I want to make Atlantic City even more prosperous than it is right now.
Okay, so we're gonna shout out the mayor, Mayor Marty Small, and because I've heard you hint around the word "great" several times. So you want to give him, you want to throw him a bone and say "great day."
Great day, yes. Great day, yes.
Now, one thing I do like about that um, "great day" has become a not only a catchphrase but a a nod to a change or update in culture to the point to where I was in Camden a couple weeks ago and ran into Mayor Karstoffen, and I told him I was from Atlantic City. He said, "Oh, can you say great day? How's Marty doing?"
Oh, cool. No, that's cool. And I believe that's going to stick, Raymond, because Atlantic City is a great place to live. And how could it not be a great place to live if it's not a great day? We are here because the majority of us want to be here, and there's a lot of individuals who want to get here. I'm going to say this online. I get an offer for my home here in Bungalow Park. Am I interested in selling all the time? So there is a rebirth of a great day here in Atlantic City.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, so uh, you are running, I believe, as a Democrat.
Yes.
And this is a question I ask all politicians who come on my show, all candidates. I'd like you to take a moment to speak to someone who is a Republican, someone who might be listening, who may be running, maybe ready to vote for one of the other candidates who are trying to primary you, someone who may never support Pat Bailey, but you're still their council person and you still have a responsibility to constituents who don't vote for you and may never vote for you. What would you say to those constituents about Pat Bailey, the council person?
I would say to those constituents that Pat Bailey, the council person sitting now, loves Atlantic City. That Pat Bailey, the council person sitting before them now, was instrumental in bringing our even school district up and making sure that we had the newest schools and the newest, what would you say, electronics and things that our children need here in Atlantic City. I would say to that person that keeping their taxes low if they're a homeowner is one of the most important things that Pat Bailey can help and assist them with. because we want to remain here as we grow older. This particular Pat Bailey is a senior citizen already, and I want to remain in my home. I want to be able to afford my taxes. So I would say to that person to look at the positives that are going on in Atlantic City. We as human beings can always find something negative, but we can always find something positive if we're looking for it. And I would ask that person to look at the positives, to read my resume. I'm in LinkedIn. There's a lot about me on if you want to Google me. And my phone number is a public phone number. Call me. I will call you back. Why? Because I'm retired and I have the time to do so and would love to talk to you, whomever you are, about your concerns. Because again, all 6 wards, whatever your concern is, I want to bring that to the forefront. Wherever there's something that we can do about it, we would. If there's a long-term solution, we look into it. So I have a positive, this Pat Bailey has a positive attitude, a love for Atlantic City, a love for Atlantic City residents, and would be a listening ear, and wherever I can, a speaking part on their behalf. That's all I can say to them.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Light right here on 91.7 WLFR Pomona. We're powered by Atlantic City Focus, and we are so glad to have Pat Bailey here with us discussing her platform, her campaign, and all the great things that she's accomplished so far as a member of the Atlantic City City Council. We also want to let you know if you're due to be at work by 10 o'clock, it is now 9:45, so you have less than 15 minutes to get to work. You better skedaddle or hustle or whatever it is you do to get there on time. You want to make sure that you are there on time. My name is Raymond Tyler, and again, we are here with the one and only Pat Bailey, who is running to be reelected for Atlantic City's City Council. The other thing that I've asked every candidate from candidates for governor to county candidates for commissioner and also city council in Atlantic City and Pleasantville is this. The housing, not the unhomed or the unhoused right now, but the housing situation where we are right now with rents being almost out of control. Well, I would say out of control. If I didn't have a place to live at the moment, I would have to live in this radio station because I couldn't afford to live in Atlantic City right now. And to be honest, I don't know where I could move that I would be able to afford working one job. Uh, is there anything that a member of city council can do to alleviate the problem with affordable housing at the moment?
As you start out saying, it's not just Atlantic City. It's not just New Jersey. It's across America right now regarding 2 things: housing shortage and housing cost. And I can say the city of Atlantic City has received quite a bit of grant funding to assist, whether it be Section 8, whether it be short-term loans, whether it be help with electric bills and gas bills. We do have programs like that within City Hall that assist residents of Atlantic City with those costs. Because like you said, you got to pay electric bill, you got to pay gas bill, and you got to pay 2,000 plus sometimes for an apartment. There is a shortage. We have been now in the city of Atlantic City doing housing lotteries to help those to fix their credit so they can afford to purchase a home. Sometimes it's cheaper to pay a mortgage than it is to pay rent. And again, not just Atlantic City, Atlantic County, the state of New Jersey. So I would say that if a person was, again, needed help with their electric or gas, that they would come to City Hall. Again, there are departments who assist with that. If they need some rental assistance, again, based on their income, there are grants programs that do rental assistance. We're doing all we can to help because we want people to stay in Atlantic City. Why leave the city? We know that there's some housing that needs to be renovated, torn down, rebuilt, and we've done a lot of that. Raymond, I came to the fact that we had Baccarat, we had Pitney, we had Virginia Courts, we had 6 bedrooms. And yes, they were multiple housing projects that are no longer present, but I love what has been built to replace them. So we're going to continue to build affordable housing here in Atlantic City. But again, we do have programs to assist those who need assistance with housing and with those utility bills and what have you. So I would say to look to the city of Atlantic City to assist them wherever we can, because we stand ready to do that.
Okay. Coming up to the close of the interview, and I hope you will agree that I didn't beat you up too bad so far,
I
Pat. But
agree.
this one might be another hard one.
Mhm.
Again, when I travel outside of Atlantic City, one of the first things that people say to me is they said, "Oh yeah, you guys have a very big problem with Atlantic City being a food desert." Uh, like I don't know what the problems are in Newark, but Newark knows that we don't have
Supermarket.
a grocery store
Mhm.
within the city limits, or they know we have one grocery store, that Acme, within the city limits. Is there anything that a city council person can do or plans to do with regards to getting a grocery store or grocery stores within city limits?
I can say to you, Raymond, that I have learned in the brief time that I've been on the council, that is going to be a new RFP put out for a grocery store. Now, you, Raymond, may know, just as I do, as a resident of the city, what happened with Starnes coming into the city, located on Indiana, Indiana Avenue. I think it was going to be located right beneath the convention center. And we broke ground again. I wasn't on council, but I was right on it. Broke ground, did the whole ceremonial thing, and COVID hit as well as other things. And then Starnes wanted more money from CRETA. It is a CRETA ran project, but I can say to you without taking forever to explain little by little that City Council and the present mayor are looking into doing a new RFP for a supermarket. We are looking at, if I can use these words, cleaning up or clearing out Renaissance Plaza, so that again, that location is prime location, middle of the city, for a grocery store. So we are definitively working on that. I'm with you. We need this, the residents of Atlantic City, myself, we need a grocery store. We need a grocery store. There are a lot of different programs that you can go get fresh vegetables. We have a fresh vegetable area here in Bungalow Park where we planted. And so we're trying to have something in the medium, especially when it comes to fresh vegetables. But yes, we're working as hard as we can on getting a supermarket. And that is one of the areas where I speak to the mayor about, council talks about. And so it's not a dead issue. It's not we're on it. We're doing our best, and we'll stay on it until we break ground and see some building blocks for a grocery store here in Atlantic City. The people deserve that. I deserve that. So that's all I can say is that we are working on it. It's not a dead issue. It's a live issue. And hopefully the mayor will be able to make some announcements in regards to that in the very, very near future.
Yes, okay. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Light right here on 91.7 WLFR. We're powered by AtlanticCityFocus.com, where you can actually, you'll be able to see some video from this interview very soon. You'll also find video of our guest Pat Bailey from the NAACP Candidates Night a couple months ago. And you'll be able to see Mayor Marty Small, some of the people who are running against them. We have video from the governor's uh, roundtable that took place a couple months ago uh, up in Trenton. So, yeah, we are constantly giving you, our listeners and readers, an opportunity to meet the candidates and hear from the candidates in their own words. Uh, as we begin to wrap up this interview, uh, Ms. Bailey, I'd like to offer you an opportunity to give a closing statement or discuss anything that I failed to ask you.
Oh, thank you, Raymond. I would say, remember, if Raymond hasn't already said it, that early voting starts on this coming Tuesday, June the 3rd. It will last 4 or 5 days, which hasn't ever been that long before, running directly into election, which is June the 10th. And I would ask that you would support myself and my team, which made up of Mayor Small, made up of Stephanie Marshall, Pat Bailey, as well as Suel Ahmed. Again, we have a track record. I believe that each one of us has a heart for this city. We're offering our services as well as our commitment, not just to the first ward, the second ward, or the third ward, but to all 6 wards, all 48 blocks of this city. I, for myself, happen to be retired, will definitively make myself available. I'm here to serve you in any capacity in which you need and I can provide. And so I solicit your support and your vote again on June 10th, or vote by mail or early voting. Thank you so much. And each one of you, have a great day.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. I really appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to Mayor Small, who stopped by for an interview yesterday after the show was over. We recorded that. We're going to run that interview next week. And shout out to Mandy for setting this up as well. Pat, before I let you go, I don't want you to talk about it now.
Mhm.
I'm gonna because we don't know each other that well, and I told you I wasn't gonna push you, but I'm gonna put a couple bugs in your ear, and I already started the ball with Marty. I sit on the Atlantic City Arts Commission,
Okay.
and I don't know if there's anything you can do with the arts, but I definitely want to see more opportunities for people of color within the arts in Atlantic City. And I do acknowledge that your youth council is doing an amazing job. So I want to say that. I know what's going on, but I want to see even more opportunity. And as a former basketball player, I want to see some basketball courts either on the beach or the boardwalk like they have in California, because I think that would be so great. But thank you for stopping by.
No problem, Raymond. You have a great day, okay?
I am definitely going to have a great day. And thanks again. I really appreciate it. Take
All
care.
right. Bye-bye.
All right.